Is it a dolphin or a tuna? Almost looks shark-like.
Oh, it's a marlin.
It's a marlin.
It's a marlin.
Holy smokes, it's so crazy. Oh, don't bite our lures, dude. We don't need you.
So we have like 3 or 4 bonitos up by our keel.
Yeah.
And he's just scoping them out. He wants those things for dinner bad. So we've put together a little compilation of what it's like out here offshore. And in this particular episode, we're gonna go over some of the basics, including charts, weather, autopilot, squalls, and a little bonus story in the middle. There might be more of these in the future. If you wanna see more, just hit that subscribe button. Let's get into this.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to sail offshore? We thought that it would be really cool to take you along for the ride. Let's start with this. We've left port probably 4 or 5 hours ago now, and you can still see land. Because you can still see land means you still have a cell signal. So guess what? You've just spent the last 3 or 4 hours catching up on correspondence that you've been meaning to get to for a long time. The cell service goes a heck of a long way when there's nothing blocking it. That's day 1. We'll keep you posted for later. Yeah, so there's a lot of stigma around sailing and leaving on passages. People say you can't leave on a Friday. It's like bad luck to leave on a Friday. It's probably bad luck to leave on a Saturday. I don't know really what they are. Bananas? Bananas are bad luck. There's all sorts of crazy myths. We have left on a Friday and been fine. We have bananas on our boat and we're fine. It's not Friday today though, so we're okay. We've already had to drive. We're finally like pointing to where we're going. So, you know, we're gonna run line it on this passage. But a lot of what we do just before we leave is actually passage planning.
Nowadays, things have gotten really easy in terms of offshore sailing. So we have 2 iPads at the helm for navigation, weather on one, and we use a program called Predict Wind, in which we can download our wind files, our gust files, our wave maps. And then with this Predict Wind Offshore, you can also download routing. So it can tell us if we should go north or south, east or west, depending on what the wind is doing.
We've dialed in our boat speed with Predict Wind, so it's pretty accurate now. The boat pullers, they call them. We basically have our boat pullers pretty well set up now. And we look at the routes and they sometimes send you off in different directions with these little boats that go ziggy-zagging along as you say, I'm going to leave today or tomorrow or whenever.
We've sailed halfway around the world now with just an iPad. Inside we have 2 laptops which we use as backup and for more planning maybe. But out here we have 1 iPad with Navionics and the weather. And then the other iPad we have a program called Ovital. It's spelled O-V-I-T-A-L. And with that we can download our satellite maps of where we're going. It allows you to download Google and Bing satellite maps. Oftentimes there's clouds on some areas on Google Maps and you can't actually see what's underneath. And then sometimes the same thing goes for Bing. The one thing to remember is make sure you download all of this before you leave. It doesn't matter if you have Garmin, Raymarine, Navionics, CM-93 maps. They're all atrocious when it comes to accuracy out here in the South Pacific.
We just switched to steering by the wind. The funny story is about halfway across the Pacific, we discovered that it's a lot easier, it doesn't matter if you wander a bit that way or a bit this way, to steer by the wind. Your sails don't flop, you don't have to pay attention as much, no accidental jibes. Right now we're sailing wing on wing, downwind. And if you have a spinnaker, there's a little bit more leeway because it can just float at the front, but with the main out and being wing on wing, you have to watch for those accidental jibes. They're super bad on these boats. You can break battens and other things. We're actually steering it's dead downwind, so fingers crossed, no jibing. We actually also tie the boom off now. It's our jibe preventer. We tie it to a cleat. You can check that out, it's over there. What is it? Is it a dolphin or a tuna? Almost looks shark-like.
Oh, it's a marlin.
It's a marlin.
It's a marlin.
Holy smokes, it's so crazy. Oh, don't bite our lures, dude. We don't need you. You'll just lose your lure. Totally crazy. There's a marlin. He's following our boat. I guess they say our boats are big fads, fish attractant devices, and yeah, he's totally like following along our boat. It's crazy. Not biting the lures, which is good because we don't really want to catch marlin, but crazy. I hope he doesn't bite our lures. We gotta pull him in soon. How's he doing, Ben? Should I pull in the lure over there?
Yeah, we should probably pull in lures. I don't really want to catch a marlin.
It's been crazy calm today, like awful calm. Hot, crazy, no wind. We got our first bit of breeze we're starting to feel now in like, I don't know, it's almost been 24 hours. But yeah, this doesn't normally happen. If it does, you don't see them because the boat's churning up so much. So it's pretty cool. He's still there. Oh, look at him, he's coming in.
That is so cool. That's like a total first for us.
See it right there.
He's right there. I'm hoping I can get it on camera. So what we think is going on, we're attracting smaller fish with the boat, and then that attracts the bigger fish, and now we've attracted the marlin. The marlin's hanging with us, man.
He's right there.
Hopefully he doesn't bite the lure as I reel it in. That'd be atrocious. We do not want a marlin. We do not want a marlin.
That is so cool. Look, you can see the spike on it. You can see his nose.
So we have like 3 or 4 bonitos up by our keel, and he's just scoping them out. He wants those things for dinner bad. That's cool though, man. That's what happens offshore.
It's not going to be cool in about 5 minutes, but it looks cool from here.
So we have 2 squalls going on. We got one over here, and we got a big one over there. Okay, so we're getting into evening time here, and we start to look for squalls and what's gonna hit us as soon as it gets dark. So what we have going on is we had a really hot day, so that means there's a lot of convection coming up, which means all that stuff needs to come down at night because it cools off. And when it comes down, that's a squall. It's pretty simple. You can't dodge every squall. So we start looking around at the different squalls, and behind us, we got a few happening. Nothing too major, but you really got to look for like the big cones that are like rocketing upwards, because those are the ones that are going to come crashing down as soon as it cools off. And often there's nothing you can do except watch them on radar and hope there's no lightning in them. There's a bonus of iPad navigation. You throw your iPad into the oven, you turn it off, throw it into the oven, along with your mobile GPS puck. Close the oven and you have a Faraday cage that will shield it from all lightning. That's kind of the basics of weather out here. Can't really get away with avoiding all squalls in the tropics, and squalls are just part of life out here. So yeah, we're gonna make some dinner. We switched to the Nahoa and the Code Zero because we have no spinnaker. Anyways.
If this is a sign to come of the night ahead, that sucks. It sucks bad. It's not going to be cool in about 5 minutes, but it looks cool from here.
So we have two squalls going on. We got one over here, and we got a big one over there. So we can actually try and weave in between the two and bear off right now and see what happens. But this is a big one. This is the biggest one yet. It's huge.
A lot of sailors are timid about going offshore. We were too when we first started, but that's all changed. We now look forward to passengers. It's a chance to disconnect, unplug, let the mind expand. Take a deep breath of salty air and watch the world go by. But I'd be lying if I didn't mention the hardships. The first couple days are the hardest. The mind battling with disconnection, possible seasickness, lack of sea legs, new sleep schedule. But that all goes away, and then it's pure bliss. When was the last time you just sat there? Nothing to do, no appointments, no phone pinging.